Hey guys, we are back at Covenant, and today we have a tour of the barracks for the pack outpost we've been building here. Now before we get started, I just want to thank everybody. The channel has recently hit 500 subscribers, and I just want to take this moment to thank you and assure you that I have many more builds on the way. So if you don't want to miss any of those, and you're not yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and click that bell notification button so you can be notified when any of my builds go live. Now I imagine these barracks are for new recruits, pack members that haven't been around that long, so they really haven't been able to build up their own living quarters around the settlement. Now this build got a little bit bigger than what I was initially intending, but it ended up looking really cool, and there's some very interesting stuff I have to share with you. So let's get started, shall we? Let's start things off with a walk around of the exterior walls. You can see there one of the entrances to the barracks. And of course the walls themselves are pretty junky, pieced together with bits of chain link, some salvaged wood, a little bit of corrugated steel as well. You have a body hanging there to serve as a warning for anyone approaching that's not a pack member. And of course you have a pack mannequin. You gotta have a pack mannequin. You can see there's some vehicles mixed in with the walls there. And I'm really happy with how junky this place is turning out. You know how much I love junky builds. And, well, I guess building in cars for that matter as well. Now this area out here, just outside the wall, I'm not sure what to build there. Go ahead and leave a comment down below if you have any ideas for what might fit in well there. Now over here we have the bus that serves as the main entrance for the barracks. And of course another vehicle there, one of those overturned semi-trucks. Now let's take a closer look inside, shall we? Now inside this first area, we have a little bit of a lounge for any of the pack members that are not out on duty or guarding. And it looks like they've been having quite the party. Over to the left there, we have a little dog bowl with looks like a human bone in there. Well, I mean, they are raiders after all. Now taking a closer look at the table, we can see some food laid out. Of course, plenty of alcohol, bunch of chems. Looks like somebody's a big fan of comic books. Gotta have jet while you're reading those, apparently. And then tucked onto the driver's seat there, what is that, a 10mm pistol? Maybe not too safe to hang out with these guys. I really love that couch. I gotta use that more often. Now let's go ahead and head out. And along the way we can check out a little supply area just at the back of the bus here. Looks like there's some alcohol and ammunition as well, just laid out on that shelving unit. And then heading out, we can actually get a better look at what the barracks look like. Now let's jump around and check out the other entrance, shall we? Now before we enter the barracks, let's take a look at this scout's home here. Whoa, looks like some landmines on the ground. This guy is a little paranoid. Let's see if there's another way in. And it looks like the wall's falling apart here. Let's go in that way, shall we? Now, the scouts for the pack basically work by themselves, independently of the rest of the pack soldiers that are stationed here. And they travel through the Commonwealth looking for settlements to sack, as well as workers to kidnap, to help feed the pack empire, and ultimately make the overboss richer. Looks like this guy has a small shack, and he's also a little bit of a hunter. A fresh radstag kill hanging there in the process of being cleaned. Now let's take a look and see what he has inside his shack. Looks like there's a machete and some alcohol and chems, as well as some weaponry laid out on the ground there. Now let's take a look and see what his other pack members live like in the barracks. Let's just go back out the hole in the wall here. That way we can avoid those landmines. And you can see he's separated himself from the barracks there, just so he can have a little bit more privacy, as well as, like we said, he seems a little paranoid. Now walking through this entrance, looks like there's a pair of mannequins at the end here. Oh, looks like that guy got stabbed in the back. Wonder what kind of warning that is. Well, let's keep going, shall we? Here we have another turret. I guess you never can be too careful, especially with no gate. Anyone can just walk in. At least the turret will, protect the pack members a little bit. Now over here, looks like we have some sort of nuclear waste processing area. Looks like some chemicals and paints laying around. And then the tools they need to process that nuclear waste. Now this workbench comes from a mod called Northland Diggers, and I'll go ahead and link all the mods I use in a Google Doc in the description. And over here we have some more tools laid out on a little shelf. And then that brings us to the main part of the barracks. You can see over against the far wall there's a fairly large junk pile that some shacks have been built upon. Plenty of junk laying around, broken pallets and tires. Looks like some sandbags just thrown all over the place. I am really happy with how junky this place looks. You can see it's all very makeshift. Lots of the structures are just open to the elements. Provide a little bit of protection from the rain, but, again, they're fairly open. Pretty big lack of building materials. Now walking over this way, we can see a small pile of cars next to the lounge area that we looked at earlier. You can see there's the lounge and the main entrance. And that brings us to our first sleeping area. You can see this guy has some chemicals and a little lantern. Looks like Mentats there, in case he needs a little intelligence boost. Hey, go figure. A raider needs to be a little smarter. Now looking over this way, we can get another look at some of that junk that's just thrown about. And it looks like there is a doghouse under that overhang. Wonder where that dog is. Now heading upstairs, we come across another seating area. Looks like this guy has some beer and a little bit of food laid out. Nice lit cigar there as well. Well, let's take a look inside this structure, shall we? can see that it's fairly makeshift, just been thrown together with bits of wood and some corrugated steel just tacked onto it. Looks like this guy has a little stash of beer and a pack helmet there. What is that, a gas mask on the bed? Now let's see what his bunkmate has. Again, being a barracks, your neighbors are going to be fairly close to you. Over here we have a bear having a little one-man party. And a little bit of food at the foot of the bed as well. Well, let's leave that bear to it and head outside. Now over here we have a little makeshift ladder leading up to yet another seating area. Now it looks like there's some chems and alcohol, a little bit of food laid out as well. Playing checkers. Life of a raider is one of leisure, mostly. And then of course a nice view of the other structures here in the barracks. Well, let's head down and check some of those out. I really like that chair. That's probably my favorite chair in the game, with the ghoul. I love how it's animated as well. He does not look like he's having a good time. And you have a decent view of the road from this position as well. You can see anybody approaching, maybe sound a warning if need be. Well, let's walk up this ramp and check out another seating area. Now from up here, you probably have the best view of the road from the barracks. And you can see there's even a chair with some ammunition and looks like some beer just laying around. And of course another turret, just to keep an eye on things. And a decent view of the arena as well as the bar across the street. And then of course some private housing over there as well. Now let's head downstairs and check out the rest of the barracks. Now you can see this overturned semi-truck works really well as a ramp. And of course the junky shacks there. Now we just have to jump and climb. And you can go ahead and walk up the rest of it. And of course we have yet another seating area. This one has more supplies laying around. Looks like some ammunition. Little makeshift chair. Now I didn't realize this, but CBC Dead Wasteland has a ton of furniture. That's another mod I highly recommend. You should definitely check that out. Now walking along this car here, we come to another sleeping area. Now this one is a little more private. Obviously it's open on one end, but he does have 3 other walls. Looks like some alcohol tucked in the corner there as well. And this guy also has a little bit more privacy. Looks like some chems and a raider chest piece as well. Not much of a floor though. I'd be a little leery of sleeping in there. And this guy here has a little bit of meat drying, as well as some pack armor there in the corner. And of course more chems. And now tucked back in this corner, this guy has a flamer. What is that? Human remains? Trophies of a kill, I'm assuming. And over here... Oh. I don't know what's going on there, but I think we should leave those guys alone. Let's back out of here, shall we? If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like and share it with someone who might also enjoy it. Leave me a comment down below if you have any questions about this build or any of my other builds. If you haven't yet already, subscribe and click that bell notification to be notified when my next video goes live. We should finally be working on the interior of Covenant. I'll go ahead and leave the rest of the exterior for, the final tour. So you'll have a few surprises in case you've been following along. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And until then, enjoy your time in the Commonwealth.